What's going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back. It is Monday, so you know what time it is. We back with another episode of
Is my point valid? Valid.
Yes, indeed. I am Brandon D. Stocker,
And I am Camille A. Stalker.
and we are the Stocker family. Yes, we are. Stocker family values. But y'all know how we get into this thing. Let's start it out with what you know good.
All right, so what you know good this week is kind of personal.
Huh.
I've been on a journey.
What kind of journey you been on?
Stay off a really social media journey and get my mind together.
Yeah.
But a month ago,
30 days?
about 30 and June 16th, I can say June 16th. I started working out, eating right, getting in 10,000 steps a day.
A day.
About 60 to 90 minutes of exercise
Every day?
Every day. I have a rest day, maybe Saturday or Sunday, but yeah. And so I've seen a dramatic change. It's crazy because it's like, so just real positive with staying up with that. And I've also been back so I'm gonna be wintertime fine. You know how they be saying summertime fine? I'm gonna be wintertime fine. But then the next thing is I've been back reading books, just taking time to read, enjoy some fiction, enjoy these silly characters in these books and get angry and upset like, why is she doing that? Why is she?
Why?
So I just knocked out a book called Homegoing. I can't remember the author. And now I'm on Queenie by Candace Bird Williams. I believe that's her name. But yeah, it's called Queenie. So I'm going to continue this journey and I'll be posting in my stories about what I'm reading. I'll be telling you every week what I'm reading. I haven't been watching any documentaries because I've been busy doing
Other things.
physical things, but I'm gonna get back into the documentaries and let y'all know what's good with documentaries on several platforms. So yeah, that's my what you know
What
good.
you know good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty then. Well, that was good. That's what's up. All right. So I guess it's time to go ahead and get into this topic for today. So on today, what is our topic?
The most underrated American.
And although there are several,
There's a lot.
there's so many demographics of people who are underrated.
Right.
It's crazy. But we're gonna give I'm gonna let you give yours. I have one, but I believe that yours is most relevant right now.
Okay, but before I get into mine, I do want to say that like I had a task of Brandon saying, "Hey, pick who you think is the most underrated American. Who do you think is like not the most valued? Who is the not the most appreciated person in America?" And how this all came about with my thought process was
Tell them how your brain works.
my brother had messaged me. He was beating around the bush, right? And I was like, man, just come on. Is this who you talking about? Say it. Say it with your chest. But how I want to start this out is talking about the Simone Biles situation and Naomi Osaka with them, which a lot of people are using, quitting. I don't believe it was quitting. If you read a lot of interviews, she withdrew.
These play on words.
She
These
withdrew.
play on words.
I don't think it's quitting because she didn't.
Let me ask you this. Under any other circumstances, when you stop doing something, what is that?
You're withdrawing from the thing that you cannot do.
Understandable.
He tried to get me to say quit.
Yeah.
Now, what does this have to do with being the most underrated American? Because I see it as two black women who have been in the spotlight who America has watched, and it's the Olympics, so it's not just America watching, it's the
The
whole
world.
world
Mm-hmm.
watching and being and critiquing you and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And then Simone Biles, I really don't know a lot about Naomi Osaka to really just speak, but she says about her, her mental health, and she does have her protest when she was wearing her mask. But then people wanted to go into depth, I think, of explain why you're doing. Shoot, you should understand why she's wearing the mask. Like, come on. With the names of the young black men, older black men who have been killed by the police, right? But really, I want to talk about um, these black women being ridiculed and saying, or saying, you're blaming it on mental health. How you gonna tell me how I feel up here? And in this case, I'm looking at Simone's career. She's been, what is it? She was saying the twisties, and you don't know if you gonna come down and break something. You don't know if you gonna like you do not know. You twisting, and she doing things that other people cannot do. And to me, she's the GOAT. Like, a lot of people are the GOAT. And so I think it's a mental strain. What you looking at me smiling like that for?
I'm listening.
Oh, my shirt is caught on my daggone earring. I think it's a mental strain of what the world what the world expects versus her bowing out and saying, I can't do this. This is something I can't do right now. And where I saw a lot of negativity from was the black man. She quit. If it was me, I would have just went on with it. You don't know what you would have done mentally.
This is true.
You don't know what she was battling before she got on that plane to go to Tokyo. Maybe she was in her brain. She was dealing with mental health, right? She was dealing with it. But she's like, maybe it was, I made this commitment to America. Let me go ahead.
All right. So, question.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it's like, when did she figure out that
That's what I said.
she was having these issues?
That's what I just said. Maybe she was struggling beforehand, but in her brain she had something to live up to. And then when she came to Tokyo and she was doing all the things, and it was just like, this ain't it. This ain't it right now. Now, can't we just say, okay, she didn't do it. She bowed out. Do we lose respect for her? Because I feel like a lot of black people have lost respect for her. But if it was a white woman, would there be so much controversy around it?
I don't think like that. I don't know about for the rest of the world because they crazy. But anyway, for me, I don't lose respect for her, but I have to call things what they are. And whether you want to say withdrew, whether it's whatever you want to call it, in hindsight, it is quitting. When you do something and then you don't want to do it anymore.
But how was it quitting when she didn't do anything?
She was out there performing.
Yeah, but then all the other things, she didn't quit. She just like, I'm not going to do it. Because this is how I see quitting. Quitting is like you're in the middle of a game, right? Like, say we're in the middle of a board game and you beating me. And I was like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like that's quitting because I'm in the middle of something.
She wasn't in the middle of the competition?
She was not.
She wasn't actually performing right then.
Yeah.
But she was still in competition.
Her mental health.
So when did she realize her mental health was more important than her showing up for the country?
I think when she couldn't show up when she knew that, this ain't it, I can't. I think when she went up and when she came down wrong, right? And I think that's when she said, I can't jeopardize.
All right. So if that's the case, then why is she still considering competing for other?
She's not.
She's not?
No, she's not doing anything.
Okay.
They filled her with the other what are they? The sideline people?
The
The
alternates.
alternates. They've already, yeah, she said she's not going to. And like I don't know. So
I know if my mental health is an issue, then I'm gonna change the environment that I'm in. She stayed there. I understand the whole rooting on your people or whatever
her mental health of doing the
of
stuff,
actually performing.
yes, of being there, that doesn't take away from, look, mental health is a tricky thing. So that's why I feel like you can't just be like, well, why did she stay, or why didn't she? Mental health is tricky. And she's been in positions where, also again, we watched her have to go testify against the man who was touching on her and stuff. And I think it's a whole thing. And so I look at it back to my underrated American. Black women is who I feel are the most underrated Americans, and I feel like we're giving her, and I'm saying we because as the collective, we are giving her a hard time. We're giving Naomi a hard time because they are athletes, because they are representing us, but representing us how? Like, shoot, that I feel like that's good representation for Simone to have made this decision, and for other little girls to say and to speak up and say, "Ooh, this is taking a toll on me. I can't do this." Because for years you have people pushing you as a black woman. You need, as a black, if you're a wife, if you're a mama, you go out into the workforce. People expect a lot from you.
This is true.
A lot from you, and I'm not
But
just
you
talking
also
about
place
Simone.
yourself in these arenas.
I place myself. What? How?
And whatever you're doing, you're putting yourself. Nobody asked her to be the head of gymnastics. Nobody told her to do any of these things. Those are her choices.
Yeah, those are
So
her, those
when
are
you
her
step
choices.
into certain arenas, you have to be prepared for what comes with that arena.
Of course, but that doesn't have. I'm saying, as a black woman, this is what I'm saying. As a black woman, people look at us like we don't have something, like we can't hurt or we can't have something mentally wrong. That's what I'm saying. Forget being in positions. Forget being the boss or whatever. When when a female black boss says, "I don't feel like this," no, you're strong. You have to keep going because you built this, and there's no days off. Like, no, there is a day off. There is time for me to have fun. She's worked and she's worked, and I'm not really talking about Simone, but you see the black woman work and work and work and take care and take care and take care of, and it's just like I'm draining myself to help everybody else, and nobody's helping me.
I can see how that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, oh, you're putting yourself in. Because I put myself in positions to where I was like, oh, I can handle it. And then when I get in it, it might become overwhelming. And I'm going to have to take a step back. But how many people are saying, well, I have to take a step back? No, you keep going and you keep going until you put yourself in a position of mental stress, of mental health, of not being okay. Like, it's not it. Man, it's okay to say it's not okay.
This is true. I can't argue with that.
I'm saying, but we'd be like, well, you're a quitter if you do this or if you say this or. Like,
I'm not calling me.
No, I'm saying,
me personally, I'm not calling her a quitter. I'm not saying that her track record is quitting, but I am saying that in the eyes of some, it does look like she quit.
Yeah, it does.
And in going back to even with little girls who are motivated and inspired by her.
But I'm not. But
some
I need
of
you
those.
To realize that I'm just not talking about no gymnastics or in sports.
No, I understand.
I'm talking about black women as a whole, as the most underrated American. Who, if you go back to slavery time, black men were strong, but who is like the strongest woman? Who parades around and is like, I got you? But the first thing a black man wants to say is, "Oh, mental health ain't nothing wrong with you. Keep going." Well, nigga, there's something wrong with you. But you'll say there's something wrong with you. But I have to keep my head held high. I have to keep going because if, like I said, if you're married, then you have to be like the wife. You have to keep your household going because 9 times out of 10, the husband isn't doing it.
All right, so let me ask you this, and this is just a question. This is just a question. So, in these days where mental health conversations are becoming more prevalent, do you think that people, not just women, do you think people sometimes use that as an excuse or a crutch?
Some people might. I know I'm not, because I feel like I deal with some mental health stuff. But as for me, I know that I'm going to keep, like I said, I keep going. But I know that days that I have to stop and I have to tell you, hey, this is what it is. This is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I need you to come through for me because this is what it is. I mean, and it might be a last minute thing like Simone was, like, hold on, because in my mind, I'm thinking I can make it through. Or I'm thinking you see that, oh, she's struggling, her mind's not going right, and for you to step in. But instead of you stepping in, and maybe you stepping in, I have to say something. Hey, something's not right. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I feel for me, I'm not about to make that an excuse. Like, well,
it's my brain. I'm not feeling myself today. Well, it's the medication.
So what do you do? Do you judge somebody because of that?
I mean, it is what it is.
Because some people be really going through because they're on so many medications.
But you never know.
I don't think anybody would lie about that. I hope nobody would be out there saying, oh, something mentally wrong with me, and there's nothing mentally wrong with you. You just lazy. Like, don't be that. So I said who I think the most underrated American is. I've stated my opinion. I've got a little huffy about it. But who do you think the most underrated American is?
The working class.
The working class.
Yes, goodness.
Why are they underrated?
Because they pay the most taxes and got to kiss the most asses. You feel me? It's like, man, when you're working hard, and they always say that hard work pays off, but that is not always the case. Because
so do you think these working class people with all this hard work, they ain't coming through with no mental health issues?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Just go ahead.
I done lost my train of thought because you went somewhere else. But anyway, yeah. It's nobody who catches more flack than the working individual. Everything is built off of our backs. And we just don't get credit for the things that we do. So me and my brother-in-law had this conversation the other day. It was like, so where, during the pandemic, for instance, where would we be without Metro? Mm-hmm. Where would we be without all of these healthcare workers? Mm-hmm. All of these people are the working class. Mm-hmm. Where would we be without these people? Mm-hmm. So it has to come a time where we start giving these people credit where it's due.
And not just lunch.
You want to bring them lunch?
You're doing a wonderful job, so here's some food. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
You gave them a good hard try.
But why isn't the person who owns the hospital really putting in to see
why does outside entity have to praise their own people, praise people that has nothing to do with them?
Yeah.
But your CEO, your owner, is probably in freaking space right now trying to figure out how to doggone.
He wasn't even up there that long.
I'm just saying.
He wasn't even up there that long.
It
But
don't
that
have
was
to
a
be.
lot of money to go into the
To-
working class with people who are on
Hey.
the verge of eviction, right? Because the eviction moratorium it's over.
Over
It
with.
wasn't extended. It could go towards people's families who need food, who might not
Mm-hmm.
qualify for food stamps, but still aren't bringing in enough money to feed their families. It go into these workers children's schooling because schools are back open. And while Fossey is saying, "Hey, we're probably not going to go on another lockdown, but it's about to get worse." Like these working class people are ultimately putting their lives
On the
on the
line
line
every day.
to make a living, but not living.
Mm.
Like, does that make sense? Like
To get by.
to get by, just to get by, just to
I'm
get
trying to
by.
tell
You
you.
know that song?
And still scared that they may get put out on the streets at any time.
Right.
So
You know how many articles I've read of women? It's been women, working class women who have been at work trying to getting on their feet, haven't got their first paycheck yet because they just found the job, but they come home and their stuff is outside and their locks are changed. And it's like, this is America.
yeah, that man, it really shows you how much they give a damn about you. Like, really.
Really?
They have all of these resources, all of this money for all of these other things.
To go into space,
But
to create
the
space.
American working class is the last priority on the list. If it's even on the list at all.
It's not.
We're more concerned with doggone keeping people out of the borders than we are with taking care of the people that are here.
Let's build this. Let's
We're gonna
or
infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure. They just signed in all that big old thing for infrastructure.
Man.
The big old thing of what it's a lot, and it doesn't go into the working class. It doesn't even go into homeless people. It's not. And I can say
It benefits the people who are at the top, and that is it.
And it's like, I know we're fighting to vote, and I know we're fighting, but yo, people need to eat. People need somewhere to sleep.
Man.
And you're right. I have to agree with you on the working class being underrated, not being given the right tools in order to succeed, to wake up every morning and to go into a job, of course you probably don't want to go, but you know exactly. that is what's
your only means.
keeping you afloat.
Absolutely.
It's this conversation, right? So how do we show these people more values, our picks that we chose, the working class and the black woman? How do we value these two?
How do you show that you value these demographics?
How?
All right, for the working class, first off, some time off, some vacation time, something besides PTO, something I have to work for. Why not give me something if I'm giving you all of my time? I'm giving you all of my sweat and tears. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you all of these things, but you're not giving me anything. Only thing that I'm getting are the things that I'm earning.
Yeah.
But you're getting all of these things from me. So why not give me something? And we people are so quick to give rich people stuff that they don't even need, but you have these people who really need those things that you're giving the rich people.
Child care.
You feel me? They'll give you money. They'll give you clothes.
You want me to work?
They'll give you food.
Want me to work from what, like 8 to 5? My kid has to be a latchkey kid to get home. Like, these are the things that the rich aren't thinking about, right? At all. To say, ooh, let me help. And if
it's not even relevant to them.
And if they did start out in the working class, they forgot about where they've come from,
because
don't understand and have lost touch with society and what's really happening out in these streets.
Oh, money will make you lose touch with reality.
So it's ridiculous.
You get enough of it, and you'll be talking some doggone space talk right over people's heads who you intending to reach.
I think that also goes for the black woman. People need to give her time. People have to be more understanding. People have to treat her like she is human and not superwoman.
Even though she is, they don't like it.
Oh, no, I'm not supposed to be doing everything. I'm not supposed to be doing everything. So, yeah, just time, a lot more love, a lot more patience to understand that, hey, maybe she's she's having a bad day.
Maybe.
Maybe
she could use some help.
Yeah, just like
a little
the working
encouragement.
Class, help.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs help. And since 2020 and this 2021. Man. Going into it's almost 2022, and a lot has happened in this year, and that has happened. And so I think this pandemic has been creating a lot more underrated Americans, trying to make it, trying to find value in the world that is supposed to love them, which
Lord have mercy.
So
we're gonna pray.
Yeah. So who do y'all think is the most underrated American to you? It could be anybody that you feel. I just feel strongly about the black woman. Brandon is the working class because he has been in the working class.
I know what it feels like to be unappreciated.
Yeah, they give
devalued.
Give you a certificate for working there 1 year. How about that raise? Give me a
one
raise.
quarter.
1 quarter. I remember that quarter when I was working at Toys R Us, and they gave me a card every year saying,
"Doggone quarter.
Thank you for doing this." And I was underrated.
That's 1 quarter to more towards your taxes.
I remember when I had told the boss that I was leaving, this man got on both his knees and begged me to stay because he needed me that much. And I said,
but he didn't need to. He didn't want to give you no more money.
Do y'all understand what I wanted to say to that man? 2 fingers up to him. Do you understand?
Yeah, the middle ones. It ain't no thumbs. It ain't no pieces.
Man,
yeah,
I remember that man. But anyhow,
yeah,
who do y'all?
Anywho,
who do y'all think the most underrated American is? Let us know. We want to know.
Yes. All right. Say, all right. Now, say, we have come to the end of the hot topic for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most underrated American. Like Camille was saying, who do you think is the most underrated American? And why? Let us know. But anyway, before we get on out of here, y'all know we got to jump into On This Day in Black History. And on this day, today, August the 1st.
The first.
Yeah, my teeth and my tongue got in the way, you feel me? So sometimes that happens. But anyway, on this day, August 1st, in 1894, a very prominent guy by the name of Benjamin Elijah Mays was born. He was an educator and an activist. All right, so remembered mostly for his close relationship with Martin Luther King Jr. and his presidential tenure at Morehouse College, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays left a lasting impression on academia and civil rights movement. The youngest of 8 children, he was born today in 1894. I don't know why I want to say 19, but 1894 to a former slave turned tenant farmers. The Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Bates College obtained both his MA and his PhD at the University of Chicago in 1925 and 1935, respectively. During that period, he was also ordained a Baptist minister, offered a pastorate at an Atlanta church, and taught at South Carolina State College and Morehouse College. In 1934, Howard University appointed Mays dean of the School of Religion, where he served until 1940. His rising prominence in academia landed him in the prestigious position of president at Morehouse that same year. His 27-year tenure ushered in a succession of major changes, including the introduction of Phi Beta Kappa chapter, sustained enrollment during World War II, the Korean War, and the Veteran War, and upgrading the school's faculty. As a student, a young Martin Luther King Jr. and his fellow Morehouse alumni attended May's popular Tuesday morning chapels in Sale Hall, where he motivated them to strive for excellence in scholarships and in life. Mays and King developed a close mentorship and friendship that they maintained until King's assassination. Mays would go on to deliver a benediction at the March of Washington in 1963 and at the eulogy at King's funeral. After retiring from Morehouse College, he served as president at the Atlanta Board of Education from 1970 to 1981. The esteemed educator and activist received 56 honorary degrees throughout his career and published nearly 2,000 articles and 9 books. Dr. Mays died in Atlanta on March 28, 1984. And this was brought to you by BET.com. And that is going to wrap it up for On This Day in Black History. Yes, indeed. Yes. But once again, we are at the end of our episode. Thank you to you and everyone who has been watching and tuning in. We will see y'all next Monday, where we'll have a brand new episode, hot topic for y'all, and we would love for y'all to join the conversation. We'll see y'all next Monday. Bye.
Bye.